Top of the morning, everybody. Good day, mates. All right, we're gonna do. I have a little bit of cleanup to do on the Bitcoin chart, and yeah, we'll just get rolling. We'll just get rolling. That stop loss is not big enough. But that's okay. That's just a duplicate position anyway. All right, let's see. I want to get rid of this. I want to get rid of this. We've got this range. And we've got the bigger range. Oh, it's got a new range high. My bad. Okay, cool. Let's get down to some lower time frame stuff. So we put in a high yesterday. Didn't take the came just short of taking this prior swing high here, which is interesting. I actually want to double check that on like Coinbase. See if that information matches. It does. All right. What about Binance? Does it match on Binance? Yes, it does. Okay, cool. All right, so we neglected to take that high out. Not the end of the world. We created a bit of a gap here with no support, right? This is just like a sort of a reiteration of some of the stuff that we covered in the supply and demand video, right? This candle blows up, cleaning off all orders that were in the books. And then price starts to fall down and recover this candle, right? It could recover lower than that still. But like, why? Well, all the orders, at least all the short orders, were removed from the books in here. And so is anybody going to place a long order in the middle of a fair value gap? Well, likely not. Likely not. So it looks like we lost about, I'd say it's an internal break only, right? Meaning that your price action that comes up, even say from this low here, is still all up only, and nothing from that leg breaks bearishly until here. And you have pretty good support right underneath it too. So not much to worry about, in my opinion, as far as like coming back for something like this. No, I'm not so convinced we even come back for this one too, unless we just SFP it. What else did I want to say? I wanted to say we should plan for some longs. Yeah, that's what I want to say. I got stopped out of my long this morning. Annoying. No, I'm just joking. It's fine. I just, like I should have probably closed it yesterday because I could have closed up here in better profits. I just wanted to hold it and see if I could hold it all the way into the all-time high. Just because I wanted to do that. Morning, Albert and Wave Cipher and Ando Pancho and G Richardson, Black and Blue. Top of the morning. Top of the morning. All right. Let's get rid of some of this stuff. Let's get rid of this. We'll replan that. Bum 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 bum. All right. Yeah, I don't think this chart really changes too much here. I don't think it changes too much here. With the exception that I think this section right here is worth adding to the chart. I think that's worth adding to it. I would prefer this lower zone between 106.441 and 105.264. I would prefer that zone. I just think that to me that's much better because that takes us to an official mitigation of this range here, right? And so it's better to me to run into there, because even if we have to like temporarily lose a little bit of structure to get down into there, that's not that big of a deal to me. That's really not that big of a deal, because your higher time frame structure is still going to be kind of pointing towards the upward side. So yeah, I think I really prefer down in here. That's really where I want it. That's really where I want it. But I think you got to monitor your market structure as early as 108.030. I think you got to monitor your market structure in here. If you start to see something that looks really convincing, maybe even on a second break is when you get in. I think this area is still worth looking at. There's still demand here. It still broke structure from left to right. It still put in an inefficiency. It got us pretty dang close to this guy. I still think it's an area worth watching. And then obviously, you know how I feel about that because I said it like 4 times. I'm going to take a quick peek at total 3, and then you guys are going to tell me if there's anything else you want to look at. Because total 3 was confusing the hell out of me on my iPad last night, and I want to know what is true. What is actually true here? Well, I guess both are true at this point. I was looking at this last night, and I'm like, is that a break of structure, right? Because this candle didn't exist. This candle didn't exist. I was like, is this a break of structure, this downward structure here? Are we breaking that bullishly on total 3? But then I dropped to the 4 hour, and that high doesn't even exist. It's gone. And it makes me sad and confused. Like I did something wrong to offend it. So is that the break then? And is this the retest? I'm so confused by this chart. So utterly confused by this chart. But nonetheless, I still think it looks pretty dang good. Still think it looks pretty dang good. What's this? I think we were cooking on some TIA yesterday. Seemed about right. Yeah, looking for a little bit of this action up into supply. We get a little bit of retrace from supply. We come back down to mitigate prior demand range, continue up through supply. I think this all looks good. This can go off my chart. Clean some of this stuff up. Get prepared for the next leg up. Bet you guys can already tell where I'm looking to. I hope you can. There's that inefficiency right here. There's that same drawing we used to death on Sunday. Yeah, I still I would like this on TIA. We'll indicate a coverage of that low for now. Yeah, and then that would be like, you know, hopefully in an initiation there up into the next supply prior to a retrace back down into a newly created demand range down below you. Something like that, I think looks good on TIA. Black and blue. Here we go. I'm trying along today. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have a tiny little. I mean, like I have a short going that is not in very much profits. I got in up in this area up here. But I want a long too, bro. I want a short. Shorting is not fun right now. I want a long too. So I suppose I should probably set some alerts. I mean, if I want a long, like, probably should set some alerts, huh? I think that would be a wise thing for me to do. Oh, I thought I clicked on this. What happened to this old fart coin, man? What happened to this old fart coin? Let's delete some of this stuff. Get blank, no indicators, please. Let's get a lot of this stuff out of the way. That was my fake candle indicating an initiation. And I think it's pretty clear at this point on the old fart coins that it was indeed just a range. I was thinking about this chart last night, and I'm like, okay, so a break of this low, the logical thing to target is the next low. Now, obviously, if that low breaks, then we've got permission to start targeting lower targets on the chart. But indeed, that low held, and so you have nothing more than a range. And a failure to close below it, indicating weakness on the high. So we have an initiation here. Beep. Where can we mitigate for continuing? Well, I mean, this zone. Would it be cool to get back down into this? I think it'd be pretty cool to get back down into there. What does that look like on a risk to reward? I think you have to be all the way down there to even get a 3R out of the thing. Yeah, pretty much. If you try to enter there and cover supply, or I'm sorry, demand, which I would want to cover all of it because it kind of curls like that, then you don't have very good risk to reward, huh? So I think that could be all refined in the event that you actually had market structure going in here. So you had like 5 to 10 minute market structure and you see something change on that, retest and run, then you get the opportunity to really clean this SL up a bunch and pump up that risk to reward. But for now, I think I'm just going to indicate it. It's only a concept right now until it's interacted with that area and we have local market structure. It's not a trade; it is a concept. What else do we want to look at? That soul chart of mine is probably really ugly and needs to be cleaned up. What's that thing up to? What's this thing up to? Yeah, pretty ugly. Looks like it needs to be cleaned up to me. And did I go too far? No. Nope. No, I'm good with that. What is that down there? Okay, that can stay. Again, if you guys have any coins, just let me know that you want to look at them, and we'll go look at them. So I want to look at Sol. Yeah, that would give you the opportunity to just fill the range high, fill the range low, and rotate back up. Do have demand right here prior to the range low. But I would still prefer it to come down here, nip that guy, and then come up here and do something more along these lines. Yeah, probably all the way up to there. I think that's. If I recall correctly, that seems a pretty logical target. Yep, that does. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think something like that on Sol could be interesting. There's some unmitigated areas on the chart that are lower. You know what I mean? Like you have this 4-hour order block down here, but you're going to be under pretty bearish structure by the time you get there. So I don't think we should count on that one for a higher high. Right, to get down to something like that, you would have broken structure pretty bearishly to do so. Can we push right buttons at all? This thing here, right? You get it. Yeah, so I think I would much prefer for it to come out of the top side right here. Virtuals. How is the virtuals doing? Let's go take a look. Oh, shame on me for not. I'm so bad about posting charts, guys. Give me just a second. I should post some of these. Let's see here. We did Smartia. We did Farcoin. Did Sol. Lower time frame. And now we'll run over to virtual. Wait, where did oh, here we go. Haha, found you guys. All right, virtual. Huh. Been a while since I was on this chart. So obviously this chunk of demand did very little of anything. This short needed a bigger SL. That long worked temporarily, but only brought you back into supply. And kind of like Fartcoin, like you kind of lose some structure here at the top, but it sure just holds the low. My magnet, please. Well, I would say that if you break this low, that you're likely going to come all the way back down to here. That looks mitigated. Yeah, I would say if you break this, then you're likely going to come all the way back down to there. So I think that would be a logical area to look for a long. Yep. Let's get that thing off. It was kind of the middle line was messing me up here. Let's put that on. Let's put this on. Let's see how RIMC's been doing. Yep, pretty decent. All right. So we have this that has not been mitigated yet. Be nice to get down into discount, wouldn't it? See if we have anything hiding down in discount that makes sense. How about this guy? He's pretty close to discount. Bum, 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 bum. We have permission to target higher. Yeah, probably a bit. Yeah, I think we have permission to target up to 2.24. What is this? What is this big fucking obnoxious green box? I want it to go away. Come on, internet. It's internet. Oh, that. Yeah. Let's move you on down, sucker. Maybe we can form some manner of a topping range in here. That'd be kind of cool. I mean, it wouldn't be cool if I owned the asset. But yeah, like a boom, 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 boom kind of thing. Anyways, I don't even know where that supply came from. Yeah, probably not. Probably not. All right, let me get back down to the 5 or the 10, something like that. Blow this up. Boom. Anybody watching the stream, please understand we should be watching our market structure already for something that were to flip ahead of that indicated position. Boom, boom. And then everybody else will look at the squiggle and go, what in the hell is that random line on the chart? Took along already from 1 to 832. You talking about the farts? Yeah, you did. Following the orb breakout strat. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the orb breakout strategics. Where are we? Where are we? Okay. So you had your orb. I'm assuming your 15-minute candle or your open orb here. And you're saying breakout. And so long. Target 1, that kind of thing. Was that the thought process there? I wonder if I had this idea. I just heard of orbs for the first time like last month or something like that. I still don't really have an opinion on these things. But I'm gonna share a piece of logic with you. I'm gonna share, well, yeah, I don't know, whatever. I'm just gonna do it, right? Um, So one thing I want to talk about is like when I'm looking at a range of price, which an orb is just a range, right? Um, and I have like I have a little tool I use to determine whether I should consider something a breakout or like a fake out, right? Like a break, is it a breakout um or is it just a purge of liquidity placing weakness on the other side of the range, right? I have a little bit of a tool I use for that. I use a fib, and I have a deviation template where it's 25% above the high, 25% below the low. If we break that, I'm more likely to consider this a range break. If we don't clear this, I am more likely to consider this a failure at the top of a range. I wonder if there's any wisdom in employing that same logic on an orb. I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer to that, but I do know that it's probably how I would choose to look at him. She had some internal break here. You came back up for mitigation. You came down. You hit a 1 minute order block. Came up. Looking like you wanted to break, well, not looking like you wanted to break this high, like you broke that high. But it never ran the top before falling over. I think the problem there is more that this liquidity still exists, this still exists, this still exists. This used to exist a couple minutes ago, that used to exist a couple minutes ago, whereas this and this, whatever was up in here that broke, got mitigated. And so there was only 1, 2 on top, but there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the bottom. That I'm just like trying to figure out like why roll over. Yeah, because overall you have a break of structure here, so you definitely have demand throughout here. And furthermore, you get demand right in this area. So like when higher high, right? When the higher high. I wonder if it just needs to snip these lows down here. I feel like if it can snip these lows, come back and crack that high, then I think we could potentially rotate back up to the top. But outside of that, I think I would stick to my higher time frames. And yeah, and hope for a lower mitigation somewhere down in here or down in here. Yeah, no problem. No problem, Ando. Will you share a pic on Discord? Share a pic on Discord. Black and blue, I'm going to do you one better. We're going to go in here. We're going to hit copy link. I'm going to go over to Discord. I'm going to paste this link. And you can open that link. And if you, when you first open it, instead of like publish up here, you're going to see copy. And if you hit the copy button, you will be able to copy it to a layout in your trading view. And then when you load that layout, you'll have all of my charts, every single one of my charts in like real time, and be able to change the time frames on them. And you'll be able to access all the charts by going to the object tree and then clicking on the manage layout drawings. And then every chart with drawings on it that is synced in this layout will be available here. And yeah, and so you could load up any one of these charts from here. All of them. All of them. They all there. They all there. And then you don't have to, yeah, then you can change time frames on them and play around with them and draw on them yourself, you know, whatever suits your fancy. And furthermore, if I'm not mistaken, if I update the chart, it should update on your end. I think. I still have never had anybody do it the other way around where they share a link with me and then I test it out. I've only yeah, I just have a that's just the way I think it happens. Yeah, and yeah, there we go. Then you have all the charts, right? And you got all of them's. Soul structure coming into this low could be slightly better, but it's not hateful. It's not hateful. It's not coming into the low like this, where your break of structure point is like clear up here. We're getting some structure coming into here. Internal high. Yeah, I mean we're getting some structure. In the old ways. What else? Oh, you have to recopy it to get the updates. That makes sense because I think like what happens is when you copy it to your trading view, then you're dealing like it creates a new instance of it on TradingView's server, and then that instance is specifically linked to your account. So it would make sense that once you've copied it, the updates will no longer will no longer live sync to it. That does make sense. That does make sense. What else? I got like another 20 minutes at least. Is there any other things we want to go over in the interim? I'm gonna look at stuff like I'm gonna look at some traditional assets, some traditional ones. See what's going on with these guys. Oh yeah, we coming for that all-time high, man. We coming for it. It's happening. So I gotta imagine NQ looks pretty much identical. Yeah. Yeah, it does. Okay, cool. How's the old Dixie? Is Dixie still climbing? What's this thing doing? No. 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 Definitely not climbing. Definitely losing the bottom of this range. I mean, you know, like there's some hope left on that low, but we'll see that when we see it, right? We'll see that when we see it. What else do I want to look at? I looked at NQ, ES, DXY. How's the old Dom holding up? How's old Dommy doing? Ranges inside of ranges. Well, it don't look so healthy, huh? I mean, you know, you failed the top of the range. Almost looks like a bit of a distribution model. You come down, you know, start getting into some of this demand. But look at your structure coming into it. You can't break anything bullishly until clear up here. And at that rate, I think I'd rather just wait to see a break on this. So this looks bearish. Locally. I mean, it doesn't really get bearish until you take this low out down here with a, you know, like really take it out. Okay, so you know, dominance looking a little bear flaggy. Looking a little like a bear flagish. Fair. Do I have anything else interesting? What the hell's Apple doing? Oh, Apple is not enjoying the same recovery that a lot of other things are. Okay, what's the old Tesla up to? Tesla looks hot AF. Woo, looks hot. She be looking spicy. Four-hour structure is still bearish, but like daily is back to bullish. Weekly, I don't think ever. Well, that's the worry on the weekly. But I think it still looks pretty good, man. I think it still looks pretty good. Oh, yeah, so the again you click on the link and it should load up TradingView in a browser, and there should be a button right here that says copy. When you hit that, if you're not logged into TradingView on the browser, it's going to ask you to log in, and it's going to ask you to save if you want to save it as a template. You know, I only have like the cheapest version of TradingView that's like, I don't know, $15-20 a month, so I'm limited to 4 layouts. And so it should give you an option to save it as a layout. You don't need to, though. What you want is you want the object tree right here, and then you want manage layout drawings, and then yeah, all the charts are in here. Let's go to Doge. Let's go to Doge. I think Doge, yeah, had completed the first step of the flow chart we were working on. It did break through this supply. And has put in a demand range underneath it. Get that little nature of a double top, but but if you can get down in here into this demand and turn around pretty quick, I think you have an opportunity to save this and have it be just more of a range rotation. Yeah, it's like if you look at it from a deviation perspective, not so bad, not so bad. I think you're going to need some structure on your side. I don't think this one's worth knife catching, just because of it's a lot of straight kind of verticality coming into it, right? How would we want it to come into it? We'd want it to come into it like this. We always want it to come into the level like this. Every time, this is what we want. This is always what we want, because that means that all that stuff has already been mitigated. Blah, 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 broken record, blah, 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 broken record. Yeah, this is whatever. I'm not going to draw the whole thing out. That's just always the way that I want it to come into the level, and it's not doing that. But I think that there's still, yeah, I think there's still some wisdom there. Yeah, I mean, we broke through the most significant resistance on the chart between here and here. and that resistance was here, right? We've broken through that. We have created demand beneath us. What resistance is left from us running the high? Like next to nothing, right? And can it break the high and trade clear up into that supply? Yeah, I think it probably could. And then we would be expecting retracement out of that back down into this newly created demand range, right? Right, something like that. Something like that's what I have in my head anyway. Something like that's what I have in my head. Odd request, but can you look at BT? Yeah, Bitcoin versus gold 100 for me. Sure, we're gonna have to find it. We're gonna do it. I'm just gonna type it in just the way you typed it in. BTC USD. I don't think the / works. Gold. No. What's the ticker? Well, I'll probably have to get off of crypto, right? You gotta give me the ticker, bro. You gotta talk to me like I'm 5. Yeah, you gotta talk to me like I'm 5. Okay, type it exactly like you did and press enter. Okay, so hey, cool. I did it. I did it. Perfect. Thanks for talking to me like I'm 5. Bitcoin versus gold. So Bitcoin's value over gold. I don't know what gold 100 is, but I'd say it looks pretty bullish. You've got like this perspective here saying that there's weakness all the way back down to here, right? Like you know, like there's kind of sort of that perspective, but does anybody expect that to happen? Probably not. And then up in this area here, you have had a range and you have initiated from it. What caused this move? I would say that those positions entered down in this range here. I would say that they had to have entered down through these areas in order to cause that. And we have hit there. Let's get down to the daily. After an interaction with this, oh yeah, you could even move it right to here. We start changing some daily structure back to bullish, at least by here. A little bit of a initiation, mitigation, continue. I don't know much about this chart. I don't know whether we should like give this a little bit of credit and say, you know, can we count that as a mitigation, or if we have to really be right on that high? I don't know. But I would say that you cleared those two right there. Again, placing weakness on this high. Yeah, I'm not too worried about this this supply over here, because you know, if anything, it just caused you to retrace back to demand and flip structure. So I would say that it wants this high, and that if you initiate above that high, and then can keep this low intact without ever breaking it, well, then I think it's quite obvious you're going to run these. Yeah. 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 Yeah, if you can create a strong low here by breaking this weak high, right now your strong low is down here. If you can recreate a strong low here, I really feel as if this low will then stay intact and still be unchallenged by the time we hit that high. That's what I would say. No, I don't have premium. I can't see intraday. No. Nope. No, I got cheap ass trading view, man. Mm. Oh, it's just Bitcoin and gold value. Gotcha. Yeah, we'll take a look at XRP. Anyways, sorry, I was thinking and my brain wasn't working. XRP. What do we got? What do we got? I don't know. Yeah, I think the last time we were looking at this, I was saying, you know, we've got evidence of accumulation at the lows. If we can break this high, then initiate and kind of come up to there. And so we have broken that high. So let's update some of this stuff. Okay, so this has already been mitigated. This has not been mitigated. First broke structure here. That's been mitigated. Okay. Yeah, so if bullish should not lose this zone. If bullish, either this zone holds and re-challenges the high, or this low SFPs and re-challenges the high. Because if you break this low, you're coming down to here at least. But honestly, but you would have supply above you, right? If you break this low, you create this massive supply range. And so likely this just hits lower high, lower low, right? Yeah, so oops, that's not what I wanted to delete. I want to delete this. Yeah, and I wanna say that we should look for along here. Or one down here. Yes, and I want the rest of this liquidity on that move. Want the rest of it. All of it. Give it all to me. And then at that point, if we got up to that supply, we'd have this whole demand range underneath us here. So I think any short that comes out of this supply shouldn't target more than just back down into that range. And then I would be looking for price to move then back up out of that range further. And shorts. No, probably not. I mean, I guess if I was going to short, I would short out of here. If I was going to short, I'd short out of here. But like, where am I going to short to? Where am I going to short to? I don't know. I mean, I guess this low. Let's short some of this stuff up. And so I guess this would also represent a take profit on the long, right? If you were to enter long here and it was to start moving up, I would look to take profit here as well. Yeah, probably that stuff. So that's primarily what I'd be looking for. I've probably run myself out of time now, huh? Yep, I sure did. Anybody got any last two raws? Yeah, Jesus saves. Number 77. You're welcome. No problem. Let's get this line off. That thing's annoying. Hey, Fet. Good morning to JRMO. Let's do some Fet, and then I'm gonna bounce. It's got to be something that we had TA on. Hmm. 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 It's an internal only break here. Hmm. Kind of like it lifting right from where it's at more than anything. Because it's like this has already been mitigated. That's already been mitigated. This has already been had some manner of initiation, mitigation, continuation. This order block has already been tagged. Man, this is looking pretty rough. I want it to lift out of here. Or you're gonna start losing some structure on that thing. And then I think we're clear back down to a zone like this. And by the time we make it down to a zone like that, we're going to have supply above us. Now, will this supply have already been mitigated? I have no idea. But if we make it down, yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like it needs to get on the getting here pretty dang quick. Pretty dang quick. Speaking of which, Bitcoin, what are we doing here? Because I know we had this little zone here. I just didn't like the liquidity right below it. I just don't like this. But I'm just wondering if structure is going to start doing anything bullish in this zone. No. This does not look like a competent low to me. This low looks much better than this low does even. Okay. All right. We'll see how fast I can fly through bonk. See if it's just super obvious. If it is, we'll do it. If not, we won't. I don't like where the low is. I mean, I know that we're going to have like some single order block down in there, but it's still just kind of weird. Come on, internet, bro. We got to go fast or we're not going to get this done. Where did that low come in now? There. Yeah, I know you're down there. I know you're down there. There we go. When you're in the premium of this range, I don't think longing is a particularly good idea. I think longing would be better. After you have initiated and you look to mitigate prior to continuing. I think this is a better long than anything you will have here. But we'll drop to the 15 and see what we see. Yeah. Yeah, I'd still say that's better long. No, there's nothing here I want to long, and there's nothing here I want to short until you lose this. And you're going to have a piece of demand right below that. And it could still nip into that demand and run back to the high. So I would only want to short if it lost this low, hit this demand, formed some upwards only structure, and then lost that structure again. I think that would be a more interesting short at that point. That would make me a lot more confident about shorting. Oh, yeah, I should be able to drop a link to the Discord. I should be able to do that. How do we do that again? We right click and we say no. We click up here. We say invite people. And we copy the link. There we go. I think I have succeeded. Yeah, so Bankai wasn't overly, I don't think I was too helpful on that. And then we'll do Pengu and then I'm out. Really? I haven't been on the chart in that long. Hey, caramba. Start on the weekly. Okay, daily. First daily break is here, still unmitigated. Second daily break is here. So is this a healthy way to look at the chart? Probably somewhat reasonable. I think that aligns with the idea of looking at it this way as well. You have an opportunity to return daily market structure to bullish today. There is an unmitigated section of demand right here. To the 4. You do not have to break 4-hour structure to get to this currently. Let's go to the 15. Not a lot of great support in here. Let's go to the 3. Still had some inducement on it. But it missed the center section, didn't it? I don't think we need to leave the 3-minute. I think you could attempt to run Pengu back to its high. I'm sorry. Yeah, probably to there. There's a small possibility. I mean, like, I don't know if I love it, but I think there is a small possibility you could run it back to the, you could run it to here. Breaking this along the way. And then I think a slight retracement out of there. Back into this section. For a potential run out of that section. Back up to this high. Nope. That high. I'm assuming that's a high. No, no. This high. I'd say something like that. More or less. All right, guys. Adios. I'm going to get on out of here. Thanks for joining me this morning. Y'all have a good one. I don't know. I guess we post Pengu. I might have missed a few of these. I might have neglected to post some of these charts. All right. Bye-bye, guys. Have a good day. Take care. Adios, mijos.